Now, I might have 20,000 hours in the game, but don't let this Steam shit fool you, twin. I be AFK running errands, and I don't have a modicum of a clue what the story is about. It is for that reason I figured now would be a great time to uncover the mystery hiding in the illusionary mirage that is Black Desert. So let's start at the beginning. Today we're going to talk about the history of Pearl Abyss and by proxy, Black Desert. It's here for a reason, and I think that that's more than enough motivation to talk about it. And since you've probably heard me mention it once or 5 times, the Pavlovian campaign may be working and you may be interested in giving it a try. Now that I have you in my clutches, you will have to pry yourself from my cold, dead hands to free yourself. Hello team. I hope this video finds you well. My name is Bartholomew. It's kind of like Bartholomew, but with a Z. Black Desert's first official trailer was launched on Pearl Abyss's YouTube channel September 7th, 2012, 2 whole years before the launch of the game. It was described as an open-world action MMORPG with cutting-edge visuals and skill-based combat that will redefine how we see the genre. Its scope mainly focuses on how complex the combat is and how beautiful the characters are. It introduces us to the world and offers a bit of lore through the environment, story-related NPCs, world bosses, and mechanics. The trailer ends by showing us a large-scale battle. I have never seen this happen in the actual game. Either it was cut before I started playing, or it is not part of the main questline. In all honesty, I think it was used as a display of technological prowess. In all honesty, I think it was used as a display of technological prowess. They needed a way to show what BDO was capable of in this facet, if they didn't already hook you with their character customization or combat system. Through this trailer, we not only get a glimpse of their take on what it means to redefine the genre by mechanical innovation, we are also shown that this game's expected engine limitations and capability aren't an issue. Black Desert's second trailer was posted on January 22nd, 2013. It's over 7 minutes long. Its scope is a bit more broad. This trailer feels like its intent is not only to showcase the specialization and focus on the combat and character customization, but the variety of classes and vastness of the entire world of Black Desert. It is more cinematic than the first, and for good reason. What we get in the first trailer is an introduction to the game. In the second, we're introduced to the world. Again, in the end, we are shown a large-scale battle, and although we are shown similar elements, I may be reaching here, but I feel like the second trailer is less about how the game works and more about what makes the world tick. By the third trailer, the teaser posted on July 26th, 2013, they were milking it. We get it, bro. This game looks super fun, and I must play it. In the opening seconds, a blacksmith is literally hammering home the concept. 1. Our publisher is Dom. 2. We are Pearl Abyss. And the 3rd, 4th, and 5th strikes are the open world, the character customization and variety of classes, and lastly, our take on what combat should be. This is Black Desert. Following the trailers, we have hyper-focused teasers like the boss battle scene, the interface scene that showcases the non-combat exploration and life skill-related mechanics, an in-depth look at the expansive character customization system, and finally, 8 months before the launch of the game, we got footage of the combat system as it were during the closed beta test. Then radio silence until August 28th, 2017. But Bartholomew, you always say Black Desert is Pearl Abyss's critically acclaimed 2014 action MMORPG. Yes, I do. Don't be fooled. Once the game had been realized, on April 7th, 2014, Pearl Abyss created the Black Desert YouTube channel. Here they began to dive even deeper into the game. On December 8th, we got The World of Black Desert Part 2, a 12-minute one-shot of a camera flying through the various landmarks and locations throughout the world. First of all, what? Secondly, where's Part 1? Lastly, who told the marketing team that the best way to show the scale of your world is to fly a camera through it without cutting? Of course, I already know how big the map is, but putting myself in the shoes of someone in 2014, not having this prior knowledge, I would have lost my mind. If the previous trailers didn't do it, this would have sealed my fate. I truly admire the amount of thought and work that went into this game, not only as a biased Pearl Abyss backer that I am, but through an objective lens as well. Unluckily for me, it would take 3 more years for Black Desert to reach me, but the reason it was able to started with this level of attention to detail. Not only were the devs hard at work attempting to defy the norm, but Dom knew just how to market what Pearl Abyss had created. Mind you, none of these are an official launch trailer. To me, it reads like, this is what our game has to offer, we already launched it, and you're missing out. I would hate to be you. I won't show you every video they posted, we'd be here for hours, but I want to put into perspective that they released the game and didn't wait for people to fall in love with it. They said, our world is too big for these things to go unnoticed. You will understand how seriously we are to be taken. Is that not mad? Following the game's release, Pearl Abyss and Dom would go on to add more classes, introduce more mechanics, and foster an identity so powerful Western Siege was inevitable. It took them less than 2 years. But before I get into that, I'd like to take a step back. What the heck was Pearl Abyss doing before they made their magnum opus? Pearl Abyss was founded September 10th, 2010 by Ging Dail. I think that's how you say it. And Yoon Jae-min. Yoon Jae-min, now among the top 50 richest Korean people, according to Forbes, got his start in the games industry by first teaching himself computers at a young age and dropping out of university. He then went on to join Gamasoft and lead the development of Real Online, an MMORPG released in 2002 that is often cited as the world's first non-targeting MMORPG and praised for its juicy combat. A year after he made waves at Gamasoft, he pivoted to NHN Entertainment. There he developed R2 and C9. R2, or Reign of Revolution, was an underfunded black sheep that outperformed its company's previous failure of a game, Ark Road. C9, or Continent of the Ninth Seal, looks like Black Desert if Black Desert were made 10 years prior to Black Desert. It was around this time where he met Yoon Jae-min, who I would just love to tell you about, but apparently no one knows anything about him. The same source that gave me more to chew on than Wikipedia cannot tell me who Yoon Jae-min is. Nonetheless, resigned from NHN, and in the same year, co-founded Pearl Abyss. And that about sums up its origin. Prior to Pearl Abyss, we have a story of someone who specialized in the MMORPG genre, so much so that he is credited with only ever producing MMORPGs. It's obsessive and grotesque in a good way. But it's because of this obsession that I stand before you today, a filthy American voicing his opinion online. In a brief interview posted on December 3rd, 2014, titled Black Desert OBT, Pearl Abyss interview, the devs state that this game took 5 years to develop. I'd like to know what happened in those 5 years, wouldn't you? It costed Pearl Abyss approximately $8.6 million to develop Black Desert. The timeline is as follows. 2010, Pearl Abyss is founded. 2011, development of Black Desert is started. 2012, NHN invests and Pearl Abyss signs a publishing deal with Dom. By 2014, they launched 2 closed beta tests, one in 2013 from October 17th to October 23rd, and another in 2014 from April 22nd to May 11th, 2014. This leads to its eventual launch of the open beta test on December 17th, 2014, and its grand opening on July 23rd, 2015. But Bartholomew, what about the initialization of the project and the challenges they faced during development? I wish I could tell you. From what I've read, it seems like these nerds just needed capital and the rest got handled. And they did it for less money than most MMORPGs, in less time, on their own engine, with less people. I'm not kidding. By 2012, 2 years after Pearl Abyss's founding, a team of approximately 30 people were able to develop Black Desert to a point where it was ready to be shown publicly. And that's enough of an explanation for some, but not me. I had to know more. A video titled IGC 2016, Pearl Abyss director Ham Young-chul, I believe that's how you say it, Black Desert Struggle. In this video, Ham Young-chul gives us a rundown of what the development was like for Pearl Abyss following the years leading up to its global expansion from 2010 to 2016. What we learn in this video, and I'm going to apologize right now, I do not speak Korean. So if the YouTube auto-generated captions are wrong and I tell you something that is wrong, it is not my fault and I will not take responsibility. Nonetheless, the video will be linked in the description if you aren't satisfied with moderately accurate cliff notes. Pearl Abyss was founded during a time where mobile games started to dominate the market, and yet they decided they were going to make an MMORPG for PC. What a joke. Development started in February 2011. Apparently, its initial concept and intent was to create a world full of realism and stray away from the precedented fantastical design. This was something that the directors struggled to pitch to investors and publishers as they believed that it didn't mesh well with the Korean market. Speaking of pitching Black Desert, my earlier claim that the marketing team knew exactly how to market this game is backed by evidence provided in this presentation. It's because the way Pearl Abyss developed was alongside the publisher. They would release a build, send it to everyone involved, receive feedback, update the game based on the feedback, and swiftly deliver another build over and over again. Aside from the fact that they were categorically creating a non-standard and less popular non-targeting MMO, most of their hardships weren't on a micro scale. It wasn't that they struggled to develop the game, they struggled to beat the odds. They created a game that no one asked for, under the genre that not many people wanted, during a time where they shouldn't have, worrying if it was the right thing to do and putting in the effort to make it sustainable. From the first closed beta test to the second, there was a graphical overhaul as well as mechanical improvements and bug fixes. Originally, the second closed beta test was scheduled for February of 2014 rather than April, but the team was so focused on improving, that's what they did. And when it came time for properly discussing the schedule during meetings, all that could be said is that the game was improving. Fun fact number 1, NamuWiki is wrong about there only being 2 closed beta tests. It is true that they had planned for 2 closed beta tests and 1 open beta test, but an unscheduled final test was conducted in September of 2014, which was designed to test the server stability. During the closed and open beta test, not only were they releasing teasers and showcases on their YouTube channels, but TV ads, PC cafe ads, bus stop ads, ads on the bus itself, and subway ads. Fun fact number 2, someone in Japan spent 8 hours creating cat ears out of hair using only the character customization tools they had been given. Fun fact number 3, before the release to NAEU, March 3rd of 2016, the game had no black characters. The skin tone choice did not allow for it. This is something that Kakao Games, formerly known as DOM, advocated for when publishing to Western markets. They also advocated for bald people. Don't know what that's about. Even after watching this video, I yearn for more. Do you know what I'm prepared to sacrifice just to get a look at the game design documents? What I would give to be a Korean fly on the wall in Pearl Abyss offices circa 2011? What I would do to uncover the secrets of Black Desert's development? Alas, what I learned was very valuable to me. Instead of writing documents and having meetings, the devs at Pearl Abyss wrote lines of code and met deadlines. They were given the initial investment and nothing more, which made development beyond efficient. And the reason they are able to succeed for so long is because they are constantly fixing what works and purging what doesn't on a weekly basis, all while listening to their community and adapting to change. And it wasn't that this had to be learned. These were things already instilled in the team before work on Black Desert began. It is evident that this is the case because it is backed by the fact that this game that was never supposed to survive did, and flourished. Nothing but pure dedication and desire to create the game that they wanted to create. Just look at where that got them. That gets us back to where we left off. We were discussing Black Desert's infancy and how quickly it matured into a force to be reckoned with. From 2014 to 2016, after every weekly update, every new character, every bug fix, every improvement they made to Black Desert, they'd finally started expanding westward. On March 3rd, 2016, they launched in Europe and North America, and again, they did it without a launch trailer. Just frolicking about, continuing on as normal while behind the scenes, they were taking over the world. It is around this time of world domination that DOM Games and Kakao Games become one. So from this point going forward, I will be referring to them as Kakao Games. Pearl Abyss and Kakao Games' relentless push of updates and advertisement eventually led them to publish a version of Black Desert that could be played through the Steam client in May of 2017. This was months after the game had been localized for NAEU. The Steam page leading up to the launch on May 24th of 2017 displayed the release date of their global takeover rather than the release date of the Korean-only version. Not much to say about that, I just think it's worth mentioning. The capture we have of the Steam page on September 25th, 2017, around the time I was debating whether or not this game looked like it was worth $10, shows the game with mostly positive reviews. Now you may be asking, but Bartholomew, you paid $10 for a game you knew nothing about, had no other friends that played, and had recently received mixed reviews? No. I bought the Explorers package on sale for $30 instead of $50, and I never looked back. Now I would love to see the graph of players that aren't on Steam because it would allow us to get the full picture, given that not everyone plays on Steam. However, I believe that this gives us a good sample size of the Western player base, since we Americans adore Steam more than anything. Taking a look at the chart, we can see that from May of 2017 until today, Black Desert has been able to consistently maintain an average player count of somewhere between 15 to 20,000 every month for the last 8 years. I'd also like to mention that if these numbers sound low to you, Pearl Abyss is a billion-dollar company and is a billion-dollar man. IGN said that it was a truly wondrous world to explore. The public called it trash, and yet they refused to put it down. But Bartholomew, if you claim that the game is peak, why do so many people hate it? Cash cow for devs and a hamster wheel for the addicted. Not recommended. Even after thousands of hours. This game pretends to welcome new players, but the reality is brutal. You're 10 years late to the party. A new player grinding 800 mil per hour will never catch up to the veterans or whales farming 4 billion per hour. The only catch-up options are swipe your credit card for a minimum 5 to 10 euros. If you're very unlucky, maybe even more is needed. Or quit your job and no-life grind 8 to 10 hours daily for years. The new expansion? Just more content for whales who spent car-level money, or no-lifers chained to their grind. I don't even know why I'm still here. It's like a toxic marriage. You stay out of habit, not love. After all these years, I still don't have the gear to even touch new content on release. This isn't a game for newcomers. It's a cash cow for devs and a hamster wheel for the addicted. I love this game, but I don't know, man. You grind and grind to get the best in slot gear, only to do what with it? You run around in circles killing mobs, and that's literally the whole game. There's no farmable bosses that aren't time-gated. There's barely any group content. The enchanting system sucks ass, and much more, the AFK activities, aka fishing, are the best thing about the game. I shit you not. Well, that, and I personally think that the worker system is badass, but in the end, what's the point of AFK fishing? It's almost like the game is playing you instead. Plus, if you're a new player who has a job, you will be left stuck in the mid-game for a while if you don't pay to win. The enchanting is a nightmare. Sure, you can get lucky with enchantments, but the big issue is the Cron Stones. I understand they don't have a subscription model to support their game, but holy fuck, man. They monetize the absolute shit out of everything in this game. It really ruins the experience. The game has way too many issues, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone at the moment. Sadly, probably never, with the direction that the game is going.
Best part about this game is the combat, the graphics. Honestly, I don't think any other game beats it, hands down, for the MMO genre. AFK life skill is also pretty nice. Worst thing is there's just way too many things to pick up and learn in the game. After getting to know more, there you will also see the sheer number of hours to grind to get certain things. Unless you can break down the game slowly and set simple milestone goals to achieve one step at a time, this game is going to overwhelm you as a beginner at every step. If you're looking to try a new MMO, for combat, this game will satisfy you. Once you are invested in it, if you cannot accept grinding for hours and hours, this game is not for you long term.
Greatest MMORPG of all time. How'd that get there? My rebuttal: players often voice their concerns over the fact that in order to get anywhere in the game, you'll either need to be a billion-dollar man yourself or a stay-at-home human. The number one piece of negative feedback I always hear is that the game is pay to win. And while I disagree with the sentiment, my simple response is that at least it isn't pay to play. And what I mean by that is that the game is not a subscription model. In theory, if I'm lucky, I get the game for free and never have to pay a dime. It is possible. But what I truly want people to realize is that you are your own worst enemy. Yes, the game does offer and incentivize players to spend money on quality of life improving items, most of which cannot be grinded for. However, there are items that are really important to your efficiency as a player that are often gifted to the player as a reward for playing the game, or received as part of a quest reward. Yes, paying for some of these things will grant you an advantage, but what it won't do is guarantee your success. The enhancement system, not the enchantment system's odds are fucking terrible. If anything, you're better off life skilling to buy the upgraded items from the central market, or learning what fail stacking is and flipping a coin. Because even if I were to purchase premium items that help during the enhancement process, I'd be paying for a chance to win. The difference in my head is that a game cannot be considered pay to win if what I'm paying for to win is not absolute. So instead, I buy things that make playing the game more fun to look at or easier, rather than trying to skip the grind. It's an MMO, meant to be played for a very long time. You're lucky if you start experiencing the in-game content after just 1 year. You're lucky if you're able to spend money and see a return on investment. If you're unsatisfied with the speed of progression and or knowledge checking, go play the accelerated and less overwhelming seasonal character servers. If you're unhappy with the fact that in order for Black Desert to continue operating as it does, they have to offer in-game purchases, go play a game that has a subscription-based model and an in-game shop. If your gripe is that the game feels like it's just a monotonous grind leading to the best in-slot gear and nothing more, why play the genre that is historically about the slow, monotonous grind for gear and power? What are you looking to get out of an MMORPG? The story? Originally, I wasn't going to talk about the story. 3 reasons. For the last 8 years, I've been pressing R as quickly as possible, skipping every line of dialogue and mostly every frame of cutscenes that the game allows me to skip. 2. In 2017, the last story game I had played to completion and paid attention to was Halo 4 in 2012. But Bartholomew, what about Halo 5? Halo what? Anyway, I was not big into stories at the time of starting, and by the time I understood what it meant to tell a good story, it was too late. 3. If I tell you the story as it stands today, I'd be recounting events that may or may not have been changed by the time you watch and or play, or watched and or played. Basically, even though I know nothing of the story, I do know, because I've created over 30 characters, where I start and what I choose and who I interact with has changed. If I were to start a new character of a class that I've previously played the story as all those years ago and play today, it would not be the exact same playthrough. Nonetheless, after deliberating with my friends, I decided it'd be best to at least give you something. I promise you, I'm not padding the runtime. If you don't believe me, die. One of the goals of this video is to get as many people interested in Black Desert as I possibly can. You owe it to yourself to experience the world of Black Desert. Whether or not you agree with me now matters not. All I ask is that you give it a try. Don't listen to anyone else but me. Thankfully, Clear, everybody say hi, Clear. Hi, Clear. Clear has documented what I'm going to have to consider is the truth, because it would pain me to disprove it. In an NAEU Black Desert forum post from January 27, 2021, Clear mentions that this is a repost from the old forums, and it explicitly states in the title that this is pre-revamp. And since no one else has covered this, because who in their right mind would, Clear, I'm just going to go with what Clear has to say. I would like to reiterate that not only will I be paraphrasing Clear's post, but I am now 100% certain that this is outdated information. Still, because the storyline features places that you can and will go following the main storyline, I'm going to tell you what the story was and not what it is, because this will give you a glimpse of what the world of Black Desert is like. And another thing, this post only covers main territories before we got Land of the Morning Light, a main quest line that I will not tell you about in this video. That way, when you play Black Desert for the first time, you can experience a spoiler-free quest line, or you can skip it. If you're interested and want to read it for yourself, check the description. And for a more up-to-date lore dump, check out this video by Verdict, also in the description. Or play the game. In Calpheon, a cult uncovers a mythical stone known for its dark power and brings it to Goma Naru, a major trading hub. A black, shadowy smoke approaches the merchant ship, and the stone explodes, destroying the city and killing everyone. The narrator addresses the player, calling them a chosen one and urging them to travel to an underground stone chamber. The player wakes in Ovia with memory loss. Akan, a local, sends the player to Bunt, a skill instructor, who helps them remember combat skills. After testing skills on wildlife, the Black Spirit appears and sends the player to Serendia to investigate disturbances such as local threats, political unrest, and signs of corruption, all while the Black Spirit pushes the player to grow stronger through combat and quests. The player aids local leaders in stabilizing the region, and we move on to Media, a region in turmoil due to war and resource conflicts. Encounters with various factions reveal deeper plots involving dark powers, and the Black Spirit's influence grows as the player completes increasingly dangerous quests. The story culminates in confronting major antagonists tied to the region's instability. The player then journeys to Valencia by crossing the desert. Political intrigue emerges between Valencia's ruling powers and outside influences. The player undertakes quests to uncover conspiracies and neutralize threats as the Black Spirit continues to guide and manipulate the player's actions. After resolving remaining conflicts, confronting enemies, and stabilizing the region, the player works with allies to complete objectives that impact Valencia's political and military balance. The questline ends with the immediate threat resolved, though broader tensions remain. After Valencia all the way to the east, now you gotta go all the way out west, featuring Young Thug. The player enters Kamasilvia, homeland of the elves and sacred forests. Conflict brews between the Vedir and Ganel factions, rooted in differing views on nature and power. The player uncovers ancient secrets tied to the Kamasilv tree and its divine energy. Encounters with the forest spirits and elven leaders reveal tensions over the use of dark powers. The Black Spirit continues to influence the player's decisions, pushing them toward confrontation. From Kamasilvia, we go to Drayagan, or however you say that, a mountainous region plagued by dragon-related threats and tribal unrest. The player investigates the origins of the dragons and mysterious Shrekin warriors. Ancient ruins and rituals hint at a deeper connection between humans and dragons. The player aids local tribes in resisting corruption and uncovering the truth behind the dragon menace. The Black Spirit's role becomes more ambiguous, hinting at larger cosmic forces at play. Lastly, in Odilita, a dark cursed land ruled by the exiled Vedir faction, the player navigates a brutal society built on vengeance, sacrifice, and forbidden magic. Key figures include Queen Viorencia Odor and the followers of the Hadun god. The storyline explores themes of betrayal, redemption, and the cost of power. The player must choose allegiances carefully while confronting twisted rituals and ancient grudges. So there you have it. Drop a comment below if you thought this story was mega epic. Right, mega epic story. I really want to play Black Desert right now. If I were to summarize the main plot points, it would go something like this. The high fantasy world of Black Desert is plagued by conflict, and regions that were once at peace require aid to settle their disputes. This is something that you can derive while playing, even if you were to press R faster than the speed of light anytime a dialogue box pops up, and walk away from your setup for every second that an unskippable cutscene plays, because it's the environment that you'll visit and some of the quests that you will complete that tell the story through direct representation of causality. In 2017, not only did Pearl Abyss market Black Desert PC at E3, right before E3 they began to branch out from PC gaming and announce Black Desert Mobile. Shortly after their PC announcement at E3, they followed up by announcing Black Desert for Xbox One and PS4. Currently, Black Desert sits among the top sellers on Steam, with mostly positive reviews. I believe they are able to maintain this because, unlike me, they've responded positively to the hate. While some may disagree, ever since I started playing the game, for most of the qualms I or others have had, a solution has been provided. I've always been one to admit that prior to the first introduction of the seasonal character system in June of 2020, the game used to be much harder to understand, much harder to progress, and much harder to market to other people. But I believe that it's thanks to the player base voicing their concerns that Pearl Abyss was able to then go on to win MMORPG.com's Most Improved MMO 2 years in a row. Why they are able to continue to service several versions of their game non-stop. Why they should be allowed to charge my freeloading ass a couple dollars for a digital pet that I must sacrifice other pets to increase the level of. They've been hard at work since the start, and I'm so grateful that I get to play what they are still creating. I've often told people that I will be playing Black Desert until the servers go down for good. Hell, I could imagine myself spinning up a little private server after. Hypothetically. Pearl Abyss's dedication to keeping Black Desert going has in a way kept me going as well. Were it not for the game, I'm not sure where or who I'd be. And while I am eagerly awaiting the new games that they've announced, I'm more than happy to continue being a part of the game that allowed them to pursue other ventures. I will be playing Crimson Desert, and I will be playing Dokev. But Bartholomew, what about Plan 8? Plan what? I would like to take a brief moment to thank some key contributors to Black Desert's success. While I would love to thank each and every last one of them, sadly, that information is not publicly available to me, and I will not be attempting to say all of these names, so here's a list of key people. While you look at that list, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if I convinced you to play Black Desert, or if you learned something. Wacky links in the description. Y'all be easy.